uh, can obtain your rank back is finding out from MVP Sergeant what 3 month difficult tasks you got to complete, which is what I told you in the video prior. Once you complete the task, MVP Sergeant has the authority to give your rank and number back. But if you don't complete it in the time frame, you'll have to do an extended 3 months. Okay, therefore, the task force can pick any map to beat the lieutenant slacking his duties. Plus, they could even tell you to use a class setup you're not familiar with if they want. And you know what I mean? So don't try to think that you can beat the force. Because when you're not doing your duties as a lieutenant, it's no mercy. These guys don't mess around. You know, they can be jokey, but once you're not doing your duties and they're getting told from members and other lieutenants that, these guys are just, bringing down the fam or, pissing people off or cussing at people, that's when the task force comes in and puts a stop to that. Okay? And I love the idea of MVP Special Task Force because it's like, damn,
TACOM, get me rap support.
it's like once these guys come in, there's no stopping them. But I don't. But like, look, if you're facing the task force, let's say you couldn't find 9 people in total, because you have to legit have 9 people, because the task force is full of I think 11 people. That's the maximum that you can be in task force. 11. There's no 12 or 20 or 50, it's just 11. Okay, and if you're facing on a 3-on-1, don't say anything. It's kind of like court, where you go in court and you pay your tickets. That, oh, you got like a speeding ticket, for driving fast, or a parking ticket, and you got to go to court to pay for that shit and stuff like that. Or it's kind of like that, but in a different system. You don't want to swear at the task force and say shit like, oh, like, what the fuck is this? And obviously I'm not gonna win, because then they're probably gonna give you a fucking knife to face 3 of them. They have the authority to do that. That's their job as the task force. And if it's the sniping division, like, it doesn't matter. The concept remains the same. It's just gonna be 3-on-1, but sniping. So you don't want to mess with the task force. You don't want to be on their radar. You want to just be the best member, or the, oh, not member, but the best lieutenant that you could possibly be. Okay? That's why these two ranks like sergeant and task force had to be put in place, because the generals aren't going to be online. So the task force is basically doing what generals can't do, which is be on consistently. Because most of the special task force is going to be built of special individuals that are members or lieutenants. So, you know what I mean? Or even sergeant. You can be in task force if you're a sergeant. But if you become captain, you can't be in task force. And you will be replaced by someone. Or I can do something where I can say, or you can like suggest someone to take your spot. But like I said, there's no numbers. Like, okay, when you become a lieutenant, you get a number, like first, second, third, and it keeps going up depending on who's joining in, or not joining in, but who's becoming a lieutenant. Task force, nobody has a number. There's no leader of the task force. The only leader of the task force is the generals, and I want to make that crystal clear. The only leader is the generals. Everybody in the task force has the same amount of authority as a unit. But there's another great thing that the task force is supposed to do that I didn't say. Let's say that there's an event, because like I've said prior in other videos, there's 12 events in MVP, I believe. Yeah, there's 11 events for each of the 11 months of a year. And can't let's say a captain can't make a lieutenant tournament. And he informs the task force that, hey, I can't make the tournament this week because I'm going, like, I got a religious party, or, I got to go on a date with my girlfriend, or I got to go to movies, or I'm going on vacation, the task force can host the event. Usually captains are supposed to host it, but the task force, even one person can host it. Okay? So that would be fine. But there's another thing that I haven't said. Now, I did say that sergeants, they make sure the lieutenants are doing good, and so does the task force. But the task force has a bigger, more important responsibility because they're looking after the entire fam, all the divisions, and all the social media stuff that we're going to start doing next year, and just everything in general. But there's another thing that the task force keeps an eye out on, and that's the captains. So you hear me, captains. I'm talking directly to you. I don't care if you're the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. I don't care who you are. Girl, boy, the task force will be watching you. They'll be making sure that you're doing your duties as captain. Okay? They're going to be making sure that you are a good leader and you are online and you're doing what you're supposed to do. Because all you future leaders or all you future captains got to understand that you got 3 strikes for 2 years. It's not like you got 3 strikes 1 year and then you survived that year and then you got another 3 strikes. You got 3 strikes. Now, I was going to make it 5, but 3. If everything goes well and perfect and you do everything you're supposed to do, because there's a lot of people you can ask for advice as captain. You can ask members for advice. You can ask lieutenants, sergeants, captains. You can have a lot of people that you can ask for advice on what to do or what kind of training method to come up with or how to make yourself better. Like, don't see yourself that, oh, you're captain, you don't need to ask questions and stuff like that. That's how you stress yourself out. I had that problem my first year as captain. I stressed myself out. I want you guys to do that. But like I said, you have 3 strikes. I would tell you guys what to avoid, how to avoid these 3 strikes. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. Watch me whip. Hold on. Hey, watch me nay. Here we go. I'll watch me whip. Watch me nay. Let's get it, cheese. All right. So, you guys have 3 strikes. If you're captain, and let's say you disappeared for a week, you're not gonna be captain the next week. Because each time you're not online, that counts as a strike. You have to tell either the MVP chat on Facebook that you're not going to be online for the whole week, or you got shit to do, or something like that. And you got to inform your generation on what to do. Because the task force is going to be like, you know how the Army has, what do you call them? Black Ops or Secret Service kind of shit you see in movies. Yeah, that's kind of like the task force concept. They're going to be asking members and lieutenants, what did your captain tell you to do in his absence? If they say he didn't tell me shit or I wasn't told anything on what to do, that's a strike. So you're seeing what I'm saying, right? But then again, at the end of the day, only a general can demote a captain. The task force, they only, look for the strikes, but only a general can demote a captain. Because, like I said, it's the highest rank in the fam. But before we're not just gonna demote you. We're gonna talk to you. We're gonna find out why you're not doing these things. Maybe we might give you another chance, 2 chances, 3. Because MVP is a nice, relaxed place. We talk about it. We'll figure out what's going on. Because next year it's gonna get serious badness. You know what I mean? But yeah, another thing the task force will do, let's say there's an event. Now, as a captain, you got to be there for the events. The events is a place you got to see how far your generations are improving individually, their training and stuff like that. That's when everybody in the fam brings it because that's the most competitive, it's a competitive event. Let's say that you don't tell the task force, the generals, that you're not going to be there and the event goes away and you weren't there. That's a strike. Now, if you were to tell the task force that you can't make it and they go, that's okay. If you tell the generals that you're not gonna make it, they'll tell the task force that's okay. But you gotta be a leader. That's all we're trying to do here. Build leaders, build great COD players, build leaders, and make sure everybody's having fun. The fun concept is never gonna leave MVP, ever. It's always gonna continue. But the task force is just there to ensure that you guys are just okay. Okay. Don't see it as like a threat, because the task force, they're not going to challenge a captain 3-on-1. They probably won't even win, because a captain's a veteran. He knows the maps, the guns. He's been in situations like that. He could probably hold his own. But I think if it was the entire task force, like 11 people, there's no way the captain would win. But since the captain worked hard to get there, and he's distinguished himself as one of the strongest players our fam has ever seen. They just tell the generals and let them deal with that. So, as you can see, the task force does a lot of things. Okay? They make sure all the divisions are fine. Okay? They make sure that, lieutenants aren't being assholes or not swearing and cussing at people saying you're a low rank, or like you shouldn't be challenging me or something like that. They make sure it's a respectful environment, still fun, free. Like, okay, if you said, shut the fuck up or something like that, or suck my dick or eat my ball sack to someone, and you said it in a serious way, but more in like a comeback version of a serious way, that's okay. You're not going to get slandered for that, because like I said, you can express yourself any way you want. But I mean, if this is like, you're bringing down people and you're really doing it on purpose, then you're going to be on the task force's radar. But the cool thing that I wanted the task force to be able to do, guys, is to give you lieutenants a fighting chance. You get what I'm saying? Even this goes for the members too, to give you guys a fighting chance. Because MVP is all about determination. If you can beat the task force, can you imagine if you beat the task force? Whether you had a 9-man team to help you out, or you just beat the task force individually, that's like paying your parking ticket. You got off with a warning. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be no best 2 out of 3. It's just gonna be one match. It could be any. The task force can pick any game mode. So if it's kill confirm, you're fucked. If it's hard point, you're fucked. If it's domination, you're fucked. If it's TDM, you're good. By any other game mode, you're fucked. Search and destroy, maybe search. Search would be great. But just keep that in mind. The 7th generation is next year, and it's our 8th birthday next year. So these two important ranks had to be put in place. So I said about as much as I needed to say. This is a big step for MVP to ensure all the division and ranks are doing their tasks. So it's best not to get on the task force's radar. I wish you guys a good night. I wish all the viewers a good night. I wish anybody a good night. I love you all. Keep busting your ass, and you're going to do good. Shit. Can you imagine if I came up with Task Force and Sergeant when I was a member in my member days? Fuck, I would have had so much fun. There'd have been no point to become cap. Like, I'd have set myself at a point where, I can distinguish myself as a great player, and I don't even have to be a lieutenant to do that. Remember, you can be in Task Force if you are a member, or if you're a lieutenant. There just has to be something special about you that distinguishes you from the rest, or something great that everybody sees in you to make Task Force. And to work under the highest rank in the fam, which is the 1st and 2nd general, which is going to be me and the 1st cap. So, I wish you guys all a good night. I'm probably going to do this, what's this,
You need Overwatch?
God damn it. Yeah, I'll do this and then cut the scene. That means leave. Cut the scene means leave.
Who's got yours?
Alright, Cheese Mo out.